this to me is just amazing because it's like, I always say this with John McCain, like, you wouldn't have Donald Trump without Sarah Palin.
Nope.
Right? Like, there's a whole bunch of reasons why you have Donald Trump, but that transition of like, I'm going to make my VP a complete imbecile.
We're going to gin up the base.
Gin up the base, which is also, what's great about that too is just how insulting that is. It's just like, I don't want to gin up my base. I'll have some like racist incompetent from Alaska. That'll get them excited, right? And it will.
That's like, if a woman like kind of just
there's
the strap off a little bit, like, look, you see that?
That's definitely another big part of the Sarah Palin dynamic with these people. It's so disturbing. But John McCain, and at the same time he does that, has the nerve to run around talking about country first.
Oh, please.
And then Washington. Of course he's a fraud. And here he is walking, I think he's like in an airport or somewhere on the move. And he gets caught up with, I believe it's ABC News. And, okay, let's just review what's happened in the last couple of days. You had photos at Mar-a-Lago with Trump being like, hey, you gave me money? Take a picture with the guy who carries the nuclear football. Like and also, like, and by the way, that's a black guy carrying the nuclear football. So, don't think you can call me racist. They're great at football. Why shouldn't they carry the football? They're good natural athletes. And then he's also sitting next to Shinzo Abe, having like and they're posting pictures while over like steaks. Like North Korea just did a missile launch, so now we're dealing with a national security crisis at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah.
I told my dad both of those things, the whole Mar-a-Lago and the pictures and the Japanese prime minister.
Right.
And he was like, please just stop. I can't take this right now. And he listened to basically anything. And he was like, I just can't take it right now. Maybe later. We'll talk about it later. It's too much.
There's a lot of the country going through that right now, I think.
But I actually had that conversation with Michael the other day. Yeah. I told him it's kind of like I just shattered my knee and now I'm going through rehab. Like I can't run like I used to. I can't consume as much news as I used to.
Right.
Just slowly but surely, I'm taking it a little bit more. But it's hard.
When you get to a point though where it's just like you can't, like, there's certain things we can all choose to dip in and out of, but like what's happening?
You have to.
You know what I mean? Like, this is it.
So my dad asked me, he's like, and you have to do this every day. And I was like, I think that complete immersion might actually help because
it just numbs you.
Yeah.
Not if you're super producer Matt Leff.
Yeah, I was about to say
if anybody looks at Matt's Instagram, oof.
Yeah, it all bothers me. And then there's the occasional time where I'm just like, oh my God. But for the most part,
the way my brain is wired is like, as soon as I see the Mar-a-Lago picture, I'm like, it's a great fucking party. We're having an incredible time. I just turned into an impression.
Yeah, I have to deflect all reality into humor, basically. Like, otherwise it's...
Well, it's also like, what I think happens too is that from a comedic standpoint, in the past, like, you're playing with subtext. Like, you're like, okay, so these crazy racist people think that Obama, like, who's the most conciliatory, moderate guy on the planet, he's secretly a Muslim black militant. That's hilarious. Let's make that happen. And now what it is it's like, it's almost just like, oh, like, basically these insane people have made us all insane. So the joke is that everybody's just becoming that. You know what I mean? Like, that's the jokes, like presidents throughout history being like, by the way, Bob Hope's a loser. Right. Like, just everything just gets sucked into that vortex.
The funny thing about that is oftentimes when I see like zombie movies, it's like, this is the zombie apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
Like,
that's
like,
the collective subconscious is warning us.
This is what it is. Like, you talk to somebody like, no, he's not born in Kenya. And they're like, no, I'm a zombie. Yes, he is. And I'm going to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what it is. The zombies have taken over.
The zombies look healthier than Stephen Miller, though. So we'll get to that in a minute. But look, let me say that John McCain plays a major role in all this. But and we know, okay, so we got the Mar-a-Lago photos. We've got the fact that, the national security director is out in 24 days. There's all sorts of contradictory accounts to the press.
Can we talk
Not
about
just,
that at some point?
Yeah, we could talk about. Well, we'll talk about Mike Flynn right after we play this. But this is John McCain again. This is a guy that's still for twerps walking around Washington. Or like, well, John McCain. I mean, agree or disagree. He's a great patriot. Takes his job really seriously. And okay, and this is McCain's brand. So of course, like, just we're at, and I actually don't really freak out that much in general about these kind of things. Like I get upset, I get worried. I think, we've been in the apocalypse a long time from my perspective. But at the same time, like I'm definitely not someone who every single thing is, like catastrophe.
Right.
But objectively, last couple of days, like we've got some things going on that are like, yeah, this ain't gonna work just structurally. Like if we kind of want to keep playing this game together, where like we have a government and things sort of function in a certain way, like this isn't working. So John McCain, Mr. Country First, guy who made Sarah Palin's career, we're at this total point of crisis, and here he is at ABC News talking about how he's concerned.
Are there any questions that the White House needs to answer in your mind in terms of the timeline and
Lots of questions. Yeah, there's lots of
Yeah.
Are you gonna ask for a briefing or anything?
I want to see, wait and see, but obviously there's a administration that is in significant disarray as far as national security is concerned, and they need to fix that, and we thank General Flynn for his service to the country.
Okay, they literally can't fix that because they have a mentally ill con man running the country. How structurally could they fix that? And he's out there dropping the lines to remind everybody that he's a serious person and he takes his responsibility to our national security, with the utmost. But he's not doing anything. I mean, Roy Blunt was the first one yesterday saying we need to have this investigation about Russia finally.
And it's the same as always. In order for him to do something, he'd have to actually have a backbone. He'd actually have to have a conscience.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is GOP-based voters are fine with this.
Yes.
And that's what
GOP-based voters are still liking Trump.
Yes.
And that is why, again, if you go inside the districts, he's still really popular.
Of course.
Again, because this is what they want. I think that's the other really important thing about the Republican
this
kind of
whole
dilemma.
thing looking like it's failing
Yeah.
is a victory. It's like the government's falling apart. Well, if you think the government is stupid and evil and dumb and needs to be broken, this is great. This is all a part of the plan.
Yeah, and it's like I keep having flashbacks to listening to like National Review people on podcasts talking about how much they need to kneecap the executive branch because it's a huge problem for them. They want to federalize everything. Well, here's a really good excuse for them to do that.
Right.
That's true. Well, that's the inbuilt advantage they have. Every disaster that they create feeds the argument that
the
government's the problem.
It's dumb.
So that's that they have all of these
And again,
great
they have
kind of
all
inbuilt reinforcement mechanisms.
They
But
have all of the easy answers. That's
Right.
all. Their entire structure is based on everything having a very simple, easy answer. Terrorism, ban the Muslims.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got my job. Send the Mexicans back. Like
Dude,
everything.
you just gotta do it.
Everything has they're a one-stop shop for simple, stupid answers.
Hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Subscribe.